Aussie. Hello. Whoop. Okay. How's that level for everyone? Is that a bit too quiet, or how are we? Okay, I'm just gonna go grab a glass of water and then I'll be right back, and then we're gonna get underway. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, hello. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Sam and I'm going to be taking you through this getting started webinar with Narrative today. So, as you are probably aware, Narrative is a blogging tool that helps you blog and instantly publish your blogs onto your website. So today, well, firstly, my name is Sam. I look after the customer support at Narrative and making sure that you guys know basically what happens, how to use the app from when you sign up to when you keep using the app. So today we're just going to run over a little tutorial. We're going to go through the initial steps of downloading Narrative and signing up. Then we're going to go through the basic blogging, basic building of a blog, and we'll just look at the home screen, and then we will go through a little blog as well. Then we are going to go publish our blog onto both of our WordPress website as well as our Squarespace website. And then we are going to go back to the blog, look at a bit more, some more interesting features, some more advanced tactics, along with some of the SEO tools, and then we're going to go and do some Q&A. If you have a question anytime throughout, feel free to just ask, and I'll if it's a good question and good at the time, we'll stop and go over it. However, feel free to ask at any point in time. Is there anyone in the chat at the moment that wants to say hello? Okay, so not at the moment. Hopefully we'll have a few more people coming through, but anyway, let's get started. So when you when you head to Narrative, first thing first, you're going to need to download the app. So head to narrative.so, which is the website, and then click Start Trial. Once you sign up, you'll be taken to the download, or you can click Download down the bottom here, and Narrative will start downloading. So now, if you haven't signed in before, you'll be greeted with a little like, hey, it's time to sign in page, and then you'll put in your username and your password. Once you have signed in, you'll be taken to your Narrative home screen. This is where your blog, where all your blogs are saved. And so, as you can see here, I have a bunch of blogs that I've been working on before. A few of these are a few kind of test ones, and I haven't really made the most out of them. But today we'll make a blog. Today we're going to make a blog from just like a couple shoot from Asher and Libby, and we're going to go from from start to publishing it. So when you're at this home screen, you'll see that you have all of your blogs here, if you have all blogs, and then if you click on publish blogs, you'll see just your published blogs. And then if you click on unpublished blogs, it will show you all of your unpublished blogs. I have quite a few. I had my blog title, which is Asher and Libby. And then I'm going to ignore padding and background color for now. We'll come back to those a bit later, but I'm going to select the source folder. These are the images that you're going to be grabbing from when you do your when you build your blog. So if you click on select folder and then find the folder, I already have the folder here with all the images. So I'm going to click open, and then I'm going to click create blog. And so now Narrative is just going to look at those images and it's going to be like, okay, cool, you want them in the blog. So it's going to take, depending on the size of your folder, it will take between like 10 seconds to a minute to do this. But as it's only 240 at 20 images is about average, and that didn't take too long to get sorted. So now that we're in our Narrative blog building space, this is basically where you'll probably spend most of your time inside Narrative. This is where you get to build your blogs. You'll see in the middle here we have our drag and drop area. This is where the blog will go. On the left hand side we have our gallery tab, and so this has all of our images. Make them a bit bigger so we can see them. And then we're on the right hand side we have our settings tab. So this has our document master settings, our image properties, and our SEO. But we'll come back to those ones a bit later. For now, let's just start building a blog. So when I start building a blog, I can double click on the images and drop them in. And so they will just follow each other, or I can drag them in and I can drag them to wherever this blue line shows up. So if I go, okay, cool, I want to add this image here, and I want to go back up here and add an image there. Now I have a bit more interesting of a layout. You can also just keep dragging images in, or you can, I'm going to chuck that one back up there. It will appear inside the layout. And now look at that, we already have our blog starting to be built. Quickly, I'm going to just make the padding a bit bigger. Padding is like the difference between, is the distance between the photos there. And so I'm going to make that a bit larger. And you can also drag images in the layout and swap them over. So say if I have this one here, I'm going to drag that over there. And maybe I want this one to be the black and white one. Maybe I go, actually I kind of want that image up there. And so now we've just made a pretty small blog, but we're halfway there. Maybe I want to just go and, you can be done if you want. If you just want 12 images in your blog, go for it. But I'm going to drag a few more in, ones that feel nice. If you can't see the images properly, you can click on the image in the gallery and then just press the space bar. And so now it opens up, and then we have a space bar. And then let's grab one more of these and one more of those. And then just for fun, I'm going to go down to the bottom because I know we have a GIF in here, and add a GIF. So I believe that's a GIF. If I click play, actually I'm not sure if that's the GIF. This might be the GIF. Here we go, that's the GIF. So to remove an image from the layout, you just click on it and press delete. And then now that should play. There we go. Not sure why that isn't playing now, but when we upload it, it will. But I might just remove that for now anyway. Okay, so now that we have built our layout, I'm going to publish it. And so so that's essentially all you have to do inside of Narrative itself. When you want to publish it, by publishing we mean getting it straight up onto your website so it looks perfectly. You're going to click down on this publish area down here. And so since I've already published from my Narrative account before, I already have a website here. But if you don't, you'll be taken to this window here, and you put in your website URL. So I'm going to put in narrativetests.com. And then I'm actually going to, give me one moment, I'm going to turn off the plugin on this website so we can go from start to finish. Do we have any questions so far? Cool, okay. So back into it now. Okay, so now when we hop back over to narrative, we're going to go put in our website URL. So this currently we're publishing onto WordPress, and so WordPress uses, for WordPress you can either use your plugin or you can use just pasting the code. For now we're just going to use the plugin, and then we'll go to the code, and then we'll go to Squarespace. So put in your website URL, then click on WordPress, and then select your theme. I'm going to say show it. And then click continue. Now it's going to check if you have the plugin installed on your website. Since I don't have the plugin turned on, it's going to come back with, hey, you need to install the plugin. So we're going to hop back over here. If you don't have it installed, just click up add new up here, and then search for narrative plugin or narrative publisher. And then you'll be able to download it. I'm going to click activate on my plugin since I already have it. And now we're going to hop back over to narrative. And I'm going to go, okay, cool, now I have the plugin installed. I'm going to click check. I'm going to go continue. So you only have to do this setup once, and once you have it set up, you will be able to publish just instantly every time. So now Narrative's given me a key to add to my plugin. This is just like a password essentially, so that when you, just to make sure there's a secure link between your website and Narrative. And so I'm going to click over here, which is the Narrative plugin. I'm going to remove that previous key and add my new one by just pasting it in. And then I'm going to click Save Changes. And then now that those changes have saved, I'm going to go back here and click Check. And now Narrative has connected to my website, and it's just fetching all my info. And so now we have our now we get to choose what category we want to set, and so I'm just going to leave it as uncategorized, but these will grab your post categories from your website. So let me click update, and now Narrative's going to say that I should install Gutenberg. Gutenberg is our recommendation, as we think it's the best experience for Narrative. However, you don't need to install it. Just for time's sake, I'm not going to install it today, and so I'm going to click skip. And now I'm going to click OK. And so now that my publisher settings have updated, I'm going to be able to click publish, and now Narrative is going to publish the blog to your website. Cool, and now that our blog is published, we're able to see down the bottom right, we can see it's like publishing status. And so we have the blog status is published along with when it was published, and then some options. So I'm going to click visit page, and this is going to take us to our where the post is. And as you can see, Asher and Libby is there. And if I scroll down a bit, we have Asher and Libby here. We have the blog post. So that was super simple. I didn't have to do anything extra or anything over the top, and we have our blog on our website. So as you can see, all the images are laid out as they were inside the app, and it's looking pretty good. So let's do the same, and click on, and let's go to, instead now we're going to publish with the code. So I'm going to head into narrative and click on, I'm going to head back into narrative. I'm going to unpublish this post just so that we can change the post. So give me 1 second. Hey Tully, so this video will stick around on our channel for the next, till the next webinar, so you can always just come back to narrative.so/webinar. So now when I have my WordPress plugin set up, in order to change to the code method instead, I'm going to click on don't publish, and so this is going to give me the code instead. So now I'm going to click publish again. And so while this Cool. Okay, so now that my blog is published, I'm going to click on this copy link button instead. So you'll notice that this time there's a copy link button instead of the visit page button. This means that we're getting the code, the HTML code, to put on your website instead. So now I'm going to hop back over to my Safari, and I'm going to go add new post. And then I'm going to add my title, which is going to be Asher and Libby. And then I'm going to, so currently I'm inside the classic editor, which is an older version of WordPress. We'll go and look at Gutenberg as well, but now that I'm on here, originally you're usually on the visual tab, but I'm going to, in order to paste the code, click on the text tab and then just click Command V to paste it. And then I'm going to click back over to the visual tab, and you'll see the first image is loaded up. You go, cool, let me save that draft. And then I'm going to click on preview. And now we're previewing the blog. And cool, now we have our, I'm not sure why that didn't load, that didn't work properly, but on your website that should, yeah, there we go. Not sure why that happened for the first time, but that shouldn't happen. I think that's just something that's a little bit weird on our test WordPress account here. And so now we have our blog here. And so if you're using the code method, every time you publish the blog, you will need to copy the code and paste it. Now let's hop over and turn on Gutenberg for a second. Let me grab some water. And then I'm going to activate Gutenberg and then deactivate the classic editor. So this is a newer version of WordPress that works more on like a block structure. And so I'm going to go add another new post, and you'll see how it's a bit different. This is just because I'm showing you this way because it is quite a bit different to how you do it on without Gutenberg installed. So I'm going to say Asher and Libby. And on Gutenberg, you click up in this top left here, or you can click on this little block here and search for custom. And then a custom HTML block will show up. And so you click on the custom HTML block and paste in your code. And now we have our code, and you can click preview. And so that will load up your blog. And then, so now we have our blog on Gutenberg. And then let's click preview again. And let's have a look at this when this loads. Cool, so now we have our blog post there as well. So that's the 3 ways that you can get your blog up onto WordPress. First is by using the plugin, and then secondly is using the code, and the code works for both code works for both Gutenberg and just your classic editor. Now let's go and publish it to Squarespace. So when you're publishing to Squarespace or any other website, let's unpublish the blog post first. Yes, I do want my blog post to be unpublished. And so I'm going to click on this little gear icon. Once again, if this is your first time, it will just show up this website here. And so I'll put on my website URL. So narrative. I believe that's it. I'm not 100% sure. And I'll click on Squarespace and then I'll click continue. And now my settings are updated, and then I will click publish. This way works similarly as the other websites do, but instead you'll click on other, but both of them give you the same end result, which is the code. So while we're waiting for that to be published, I'm going to hop onto my Squarespace. Go Squarespace, login. Log in there, and then we will enter the blog, and then I'm going to, so you can add this wherever you want inside Squarespace. I'm just going to click pages and I'm going to go add blank page, and this will be our Asher and Libby. I'm going to delete this one first actually, so that we can okay, so now when we hop back over here, I'm going to go back into narrative and still publishing, so I'm just going to make sure that this page is live, or I actually might just make another page because I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that page, but let's just go here. And we'll go blank, and we'll go cool. Okay. So let's hop back over here, and let's hop back into narrative, and now that our narrative blog is published, I'm going to click copy link again. This will just give us the same link as the one before, but this time for Squarespace. And so I'm going to click edit on page content, and I'm going to click this plus icon here, and then search for our WordPress, let's search for a code, and then click on the code block. And then we're going to delete this text here, paste our blog, click OK, and then here is our blog, and click save. And then we're going to go to, let's see what this URL is. Cool. And we're going to open up a new window here and go narrative app.squares. And so this blog is actually going to show up full width, and that's just because of a setting that we have on our website. So you'll see that it comes from edge to edge. That's just a bit of custom CSS that we put in, and so that probably won't, that's not what it's meant to look like on your website. However, now that we have published onto Squarespace, you can go back, you can do whatever you want, you can leave it, you can do whatever you want. So now let's head back to our blog and let's go and add some of the cool extra features. So I'm going to hop back into narrative, and then I'm going to start. Let's start with the add block section. So I'm going to click up here, and this opens up your add block section. So inside the add block section, you have 3 different blocks. The first one is a text box, which we can drag in and go Asher and Libby. And then, you know what, I want this to be set as a header. So the text box works as, it takes a style that's currently set on your website and it implements it when you publish it. So I've just set that as a header, and now I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to go, today we went on a really nice walk through the forest. and then I'm going, and now we have some text. So if you're wanting to add like a text body to your narrative count, to your blog, sorry, that's how you can add it. And so you can, through this, you can also add your like bolds, italics, and you can also hyperlink. So say if I wanted to say what the name of this forest was, I could be like www.forest.com. And then now that has a hyperlink, and so when someone clicks on it, it will have the hyperlink. And so that's essentially the text block. Next one is your blank block. So the blank block works as like blank space. It works as a blank space that you can put in between images, and then you can manipulate it. So say if I wanted to make this section of my blog stand out a little bit more, I can add one of those there and go, oh yeah, that's cool. It's like splitting it up a bit. Now that image is 2/3 instead of half and half, but I don't know if I'm really that keen on it, so I'm going to double click and I'm going to enter the cropping stage. So I'm going inside our cropping stage, I'm going to drag it up a little bit, and so now I have a bit more of an interesting layout. And I'm going to grab another blank space here and chuck it on the bottom, and then drag it down and go, yeah, that looks cool. So that's starting to be a bit more unique, and maybe I want to add one more up over, let's add it to the side here, and then we will drag that over there. And so now we're getting a bit more of an interesting layout. I can also, as part of like the kind of the way that the blank space works, the next step to that is cropping mode on images. So if I double click on an image, it's going to enter me into its cropping mode. And you'll see that it shows up with these little white squares along with these blue bars. And so if I drag on the blue bars, it's going to make the actual frame of the image bigger or smaller. I'm going to revert that for now. But if I drag on these white squares, I can move the image inside the frame. So if I have that image there, and now you can see when I hover over it, it has a blue highlight around what was the size of the image before. So I'm going to scroll down here and enter that cropping mode again. And I'm going to drag that over and drag that up to the side there. And I actually want that image overall to be a bit thinner, so I'm going to enter cropping mode again and drag that down, and then drag that image there. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. And then we'll probably add a blank space up here, make that smaller. And then we will just make that one a little bit smaller there as well. Cool. So now if we scroll back up, you can see that we're already on our way to making a much more interesting blog post. And so the last block inside this ad block layout is the download button. So if I scroll down to the bottom and check it down the bottom, we have a download images button. You can set the download images button to a different title, fill, hover, all of these nice little features. But essentially what it does is, if you wanted to make a blog that was a preview for people, you would add that, and then they would, when you send off the preview, they would look through all the images and be like, wow, this is so nice, thank you. And then they get to the bottom and they go, cool, okay, download images. And now they have all of the images from your layout. So that's like kind of all the stuff that you can add to your blog layout. The other one, the last one would just be what we covered before briefly, which is like GIFs. And so now on narrative 2.3.0 and higher, you can add GIFs to your blog posts. So this is a pretty highly requested feature, and it's pretty cool when you have a blog that has like a GIF. It really makes it stand out. So I'm going to drag that a little bit over there, and then we're going to make that a little bit bigger. And then make that one a bit smaller. And then so now you can see we have a GIF at the bottom here as well that's playing. You can click on this pause button if the app starts being a little bit laggy. If you have more than 2 or 3, more than like 5 GIFs, that might be a bit laggy and you might want to stop it. Cool. So that's what you can add to the layout. If we hop back over to this master document settings, we also have the option to add social plugins. And so this includes our Pinterest buttons, which we can have a Pinterest button in the top left, top right, small, large, bottom left, bottom right. And we can also include Facebook comments. I'm going to leave that one off for now, but that just adds a Facebook comment at the bottom here. And we also have the ability to add lightboxing, which is also a feature that was released in the last update. So lightboxing, I'll show you what happens when we do it, but for now it's just see how this image is quite small on like a mobile or just a smaller screen. If you can't see it in the blog, you can click on it and it opens up a full screen image of it, and you can scroll through them like they're a gallery instead. So let's just update that now. So in order to get that on your website, all you need to do is, once you already have the code on your website, is just click the update button. The narrative's going to update and be like, okay, cool, there's a different version of this blog. I'm going to update it, and then it automatically goes onto your website. So while that updates, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And then a glass of water. Does anyone have any more questions or anything they would like to ask? Cool. Okay, now that our blog is updated, I'm going to head back over to our website, and I'm going to refresh the page. This is still our preview page, and you'll see that when we refresh it, everything is sorted. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And so you'll see that we have our blog title, which matches our settings on our website. Also our paragraph text, which also sets. If we hover over this image here, you'll see that there's a save button there, and we can keep scrolling through and see our pretty cool layout. And then once we get to the bottom, you'll see that we have this GIF here. It's very fast at the moment, but that's okay. And say when we were, what I was mentioning about the lightboxing before is if you just click on this image here, it will show up in a larger view, and now we can scroll through them as well. So this is really helpful for seeing the smaller images on your blog, and so that will take you to where you are on your website as well. Does anyone have any questions about advanced blog building? And that's that downloads button there. So if I click download, it's going to download the images up here, and you will see, or you should see, that they're up there. Here they are. Cool. Okay, let's head back into narrative and let's go over the last area, which is our SEO features. So SEO is one of the key features of narrative, and it's really helpful for making sure that your blogs stand out from the rest to Google and rank well, and that you're just really like getting the most visitors on your website from your blogs, because blogging, if you look at your website, blogging takes up a large content, a large amount of content on your website. So it's really important that we get our SEO right. So to start our SEO, we're going to click on this SEO tab up here, and we're going to be taken through Narrative's guide of how to do SEO. So to start, we're looking at our focus keywords, and so this is essentially the keywords that you're wanting Narrative to focus on. So when you add these, try and get some like broader words that kind of explain on the highest level of what this blog is about. So this is going to be like couple, forest, and we'll go Auckland. And then once we've got our 3 focus keywords, so we recommend doing between 3 and 5 focus keywords. So now that you have those, Narrative's going to open up and it's going to be like, hey, there's 4 other sections of SEO that you can use. These are your SEO title, your meta description, your image keywords, and your text content. And so Narrative works off of a traffic light structure that goes from red to orange to green. Red means you haven't done any SEO yet, or your SEO is really bad. orange is like, it's okay, maybe it is actually good, however, narrative isn't sure on it. Green is like, yeah, this is good SEO. And so when you've done your focus keywords, you'll see that all these ones are red. So let's go do our SEO title. So we're going to click over to our master document settings. You can see blog title here, and we'll go Asher and Libby, couple, Auckland, Forest, session, couple. And so now I'm going to hop back over to our SEO panel, and it's going to say, oh, that's kind of weird. You have your title has 46 characters. This is more than the recommended of 45. Try and shorten the title. And so it's only one more, so it actually it doesn't really matter. But just to make narrative happy, I'm going to, let's just remove. Let's just change this to an and. And then, so now we have a good SEO title. Cool. So now that we've got our good SEO title, let's go and do our meta description. And so your meta description is just a description of your blog. It's the, when you type something in Google, it's a little blurb that shows up. And so this is a few more characters, and you still want to include your SEO keywords. So we'll go today, Auckland, Forest, with this great couple explored some of the best and then so now that we have our little description, we can hop back over here and we can see that, okay, cool, we've got our SEO keywords in there, but we need to add some more characters in order for Google to be happy, or for narrative to be happy. I'm just going to leave this for now since because of time, but if you want to make this better, just add what narrative tells you to. The next one is your image keywords, and so image keywords is really important. This is basically what Google, because Google can't tell what's inside an image, so we have to tell Google, hey, this image has a couple walking into the forest, or this image is a forest from inside of a car. And so when we click on our image, we're going to be taken to its image properties, and you can see its ratio and entering cropping mode. But you can also see that it has the image keywords here. Give me 1 second for a drink. And so now I'm going to have my type in some image keywords. So we're going to go couple walking into forest. And so we want to tell Google a little description of what's going on. We want to give it more than just a couple, because couple is very broad. There could be a couple inside a skyscraper, and then Google wouldn't know between it. However, since Google knows that this is a couple, they're walking into a forest, is quite a good description. And so let's click on the next one, and we'll go, okay, cool, this is a car photo, or a photo of the forest from inside a car. So we'll go forest view from car. And then, so one of the best parts of doing your SEO with narrative is that you can do it really quickly. So if you press the tab button, you're going to move on to the next image. And so we can just go through all of our images in no time. So I've just pressed tab, and we'll go couple holding hands in forest. And then we'll go tab, and we'll go, actually, these ones are all pretty similar, so I'm just going to select multiple at a time. And so one of the great things with narrative is if you hold command, you can select multiple images and add multiple keywords to all of the images. So we go forest, couple, holding hands, and then we can keep going. And so maybe we want to keep doing it, but for now we just want to, let's just move on, and we go we'll click on this one and go dancing couple in bush. And then let's yeah, and so now that we've done some of our image keywords, we haven't done all of them, but if we had more time, we could do all of them. But you can, if you want to do it very quickly, you can just select Command All. I'm going to remove the other blocks here by holding Command. And then now once I select that one, now you'll see that we have all of our images here. And so we can like delete them all and go couple, forest, shoot. And so I wouldn't recommend doing this because then you're just giving a very broad image keywords to your blogs. However, if you are just wanting to add some SEO quickly, then maybe this is a good way to do it. And so I'm going to click back over here and it's going to say, okay, cool, all of your images have keywords. Great. And so the last one is just adding body text to your blog. So we recommend adding body text because it gives really good context and authenticity for Google to look at your blog and move around that. But for now, we're not going to do it because I don't think I could think of 300 words to add. So once we've done all our SEO, we're going to click the Update Blog button and all of our SEO features are going to go onto our website. And then that's pretty much it. That's basically from building a blog from the best I would say you can, or with the most features you can, from 0 to 100, along with your SEO and all of those little things. Do we have any questions or anything that people would like to know? Cool. So now that our blog is uploaded, we're going. All of our SEO and our image keywords and stuff like that is on there. Cool. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds to see if there's any more any more questions. Cool. Okay, so that seems like everything for now. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or need to go over anything again, feel free to rewatch this video. It's going to be up on our channel for the next 2 weeks. If next time we'll be having another webinar, so you can come along again and ask a question if you had a question, or feel free to just if you're on narrative.so/webinar. Or just the website, there's a little icon in the bottom. I'll actually show you. If we go to narrative, you will be able to see that there's a little. Cool. And so there's our intercom box. And so if you need a hand with anything, feel free to type and ask and be like, hey there. And then hopefully you should get a reply, and feel free to ask your question. That's all for today. As you can see, Vladimir is already replying to us, so top-notch quality support there. But yeah, next time, feel free to ask us anything, and feel free to send us your blogs as well. We'd love to see what you've made. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. See you guys later.